What's up, agents? Jetforth here, and I suppose it's time we finally sit down and try and answer these gear acquisition / loot 2.0 questions, mega thread Reddit jargon crap that they put up on Reddit, right? Right. Now, I have been mowing over these questions for the past few days, but I actually tried to make a video about this yesterday, and it just wasn't turning out the way that I wanted to. I was just a little heated, got a little annoyed. I don't know why. So I'm redoing it. I'm just redoing the whole thing. I try and stay positive and give positive feedback for, the community and for massive, whatever. Shut up. Now, some of these questions are really the same, and they actually just put out another mega thread deal for whatever recalibration, which I'm just going to clump it in with this because, yeah, it's everything I have to say revolves around everything loot, and that's part of the loot, if you will. Question number 1. How is the loot progression for you in World Tier 5? Not to answer a question with a question, but what progression do we speak of in this here game? There isn't any. You get dumped into World Tier 5, and then that's it. The whole argument of a gear score doesn't matter begins, and for the most part, yeah, it definitely really doesn't matter all that much. Now, once you hit 490 to 500, there is a higher bracket that you're in, so you can get higher rolls, but the likelihood of actually getting those rolls are, well, 0.9999999, that whole shenanigan, whatever. I'm sure everybody knows. So, yeah, there is no progression. Make gear score matter. Every time your gear score goes up into a next 10 points, say 450 to 460, 460 to 470, everything should get better. Kind of like how Destiny works, I guess, to take a later part of one of the questions, is every time they increase their power level, say you're at 600, you'll go in and do a nightfall and you feel all squishy, weak, and you get stomped all over, and then you hit max power level 650 or whatever the range is that they're doing, or wherever they're at now, 750, then you go around smashing on everything and you feel all wicked and powerful again. And this game doesn't do that. And at this point, honestly, if they did increase gear score, I don't think it would matter. I really don't. I mean, what? It's like that whole thing where everybody kind of flipped out because they said they were going to put 515 gear in the Dark Zone only. And I just kind of laughed because all the people yelling about that were probably the same people yelling about gear score doesn't matter. So literally, what was the big deal about it? Like, who cares? Gear score technically does not matter. So off of that rant, how would you like to farm for specific items or brands? Now, this one's pretty interesting and also correlates with the other question. How would you narrow down the loot pool that you eventually get the item that you are looking for? That's worded really weird. I think they mean so that you, whatever. So basically, those two questions in hand. Now, a lot of what everybody's saying on Reddit and other videos and stuff, which I probably shouldn't have been watching and reading, is that they should tie certain brand sets to certain factions, and I completely disagree with that. I really, really do. Because what's going to happen with that is, say you're in your group of friends, and old Johnny Snowblow 19 is going to want to farm for Araldi, say it comes from Hyenas, and then Spruce Magoose 69 is looking for DH and needs to farm Outcasts or whatever, and then just everybody will end up splitting apart. And as much as I'm sure everybody likes to say, well, everybody likes to help everybody out and drop stuff. Nah, yeah, okay, buddy, okay. What I really think they should do here is utilize bounties for this. Now, I'm not sure exactly what the reset rate is on bounties. I don't know if it's once a week, every couple of days. It should be every day. I also think that bounties should be selectable, so there's none of this normal, whatever, purple gear crap. Purple gear should not be in World Tier 5. Why? Get rid of it. It's just more junk. Seriously, Massive, come on, get rid of purple gear in World Tier 5. It's completely unnecessary. As I was saying, they should tie the brand sets to the bounties. So if you look at bounties, there's actually already a mechanic in there that's kind of like this bounty right here. You can get just an auto rifle from it. It's a guaranteed AR drop. Why not have it be like Araldi holding gloves, or an Araldi gloves, Araldi backpack, and Araldi holster? And then you can have another one that's like 511 this, 511 that, and, put weapons in there. Instead of just ARs, put SMGs, or you can get a sniper rifles, and, you know what I'm trying to say. I think that would be a perfect solution to it. Because then along with that, with the other thread that they have is the whole recalibration deal. The biggest thing that I think with recalibration is, I've said it way long time ago, is that we should be able to recalibrate one attribute and one talent. And I don't think it should go anything over than that. I don't think you should be able to swap a utility out for an offensive or vice versa. It should stay as it is. We still need to have some grind. If there is that fine line of you're going to get everything that you want out of the game and feel fulfilled, and then you're just like, well, now I don't have anything to grind for. It'll be the complete opposite of what we're going at now. So that's what they should do with that. Another thing with gear acquisition is the crafting station. The crafting station should have blueprints for everything, every piece of gear. I mean, it really should. Now, I don't know what they should do with the pricing for that. I really don't. I think maybe the pricing's fine. Just give us more space for crafting materials, something. I don't know exactly how to adjust that. Because once it gets into recalibrating, at least for me at this moment, especially if they do open it up to do one talent and one whatever attribute, like you're going to be seriously running low on crafting materials. Half the time I am anyways, so maybe Anaya should sell certain crafting materials each week in the loot pool or whatever. Not all of them all at once, just, you know, kind of like Spider in Destiny would sell planetary materials. Something along that lines is what I think. I think with this, you'll start getting the gear pieces that you want. You'll start being able to farm for them and whatnot. Again, with just the bounties. Maybe even incorporate the control points with it too. You know, maybe this certain control point this week drops DH and DH alone. Like, again, I'm not a developer. I don't know how hard it will be to put in mechanics like that, but I think that would be the best way to do it. You'd be able to craft some of the stuff that you want. You'll have the opportunity to farm specifics for bounties, and then you'll be able to recalibrate them to where you want them. And then even with their little, whatever it is, they're capping on recalibrating, some of the god tier stuff you won't be able to push over and whatnot. But again, if they made gear score matter, I think once you hit 500, we should be in the top percentile of loot drops. Like, we should be getting the top 10% rolls on 500 gear. Which leads me into the next question. What would make heroic missions and raids rewarding for you and that you tackle these sorts of challenges? Everything in there should be 500. And like I said, they should roll within the top 10% rolls of what you can get out of the loot pool. That, my friends, would make it very rewarding. And also, along with them dropping exotics in there, they should also have like a 10 to 20% chance every time you play them to drop exotic materials, so we can actually like craft up our exotics and stuff like that instead of just trying to farm them and then deconstructing them. Because yeah, that kind of sucks, honestly. Even though once you get an exotic, they drop like from the trees, but man, sometimes it sucks trying to get exotic crafting material. It really does. That's what I think they should do with that. Do you have examples of how you would like to get the equipment for your character? It's the same question as the other ones, really. I just said how. How could the existing content of the Division 2 be used to have a targeted loot progression? I just told you that. Bounties. Bounties. I don't know about you guys, but I ignore bounties. I rarely ever do them unless I want quick experience or whatever. And with all the bounties, I think they should be a selectable difficulty, you know, normal, hard, challenge, heroic. You should be able to select how hard you want your bounty to be. So for my final thoughts on this, and my final sum up, I guess, is make gear score matter. Really, seriously, make it matter. When you start fighting for those 500 gear drops in heroic and in the raid, they should drop within the top 10% highest rolls that you can get. You should get between 45 to 50 damage to elites on your masks. And you should be in that 40 to 50,000 armor utility attributes as well and stuff like that. You should be up way in the high end. And by doing that, this is also going to fix that whole clan hopping garbage with going and buying 20 chest pieces with 1,000 skill power on them from a level 15 clan or all that stuff. That would most likely fix it, as seeing as how none of them actually drop 500 gear, except for Casey. So again, make gear score matter. And if they implemented all these changes like I have set forth for you, and for them, I mean, every time they release a TU6, a TU7, an episode 2, episode 3, then they can increase the gear score level, and then, yeah, we would have to farm for new sets and keep building up higher, and they can keep increasing everything higher, and giving us that game loop that isn't here in this game, like how Destiny does. I'm sorry to bring up Destiny over and over again, but I played the crap out of the game. I understand how it works, and that's what they can do. They could keep increasing the damage to elites because now we're at 600 gear score, and now heroic missions are at 600 gear score, and yada, so on and so forth. It's missing that game loop, and it's just missing loot, period, really. But I think in my mind, it's a pretty simple fix to fix this situation. It's just they got to make gear score matter. So you're going to keep grinding. Once they change all the gear that we're getting and make it so that we can actually get the gear that we want, then what's after that? It's you increase it. You increase the gear score, you increase the power, you increase the agents, And sorry for the people who play that story, whatever mode for the raid. 500 gear, if they did that, it would need to be pulled from there because that would just be such an easy farm. It really would. Again, the recalibration station, to fix that, let us reroll one attribute and one talent. That's going to let us min-max our gear a lot easier to get the builds that we want. And other than that, for targeting specific pieces of gear, put that part of targeting gear into the bounties. Or it could be like the federal triangle control points this week drop Araldi, or they drop 511, or they drop DH, something along that lines. Like each section of the map will have a different gear set for the week on a rotation. And really, you put all those things together like that, I think you would really finely tune the game without making any really drastic changes or anything like that. It's just you have extra outlets to be able to target specific gear, getting 500 drops. If they actually made gear score matter, then you're going to be getting those really high rolls, and it's going to take away the necessity of getting a lot of junk. And even if they did do the thing with the bounties, when you get those drops, if that's the specific, it still might not be the exact specific drop that you want. So maybe a friend will get it and they'll drop it for you. And again, I bet friends would help with that because bounties take a couple of minutes. It's not like playing a 20-minute mission or hunting down certain factions or this and that. It'd be relatively easier to get the gear sets that you want and to make more builds, be able to min-max a lot better. And, that's what I'm saying. Maybe 500 shouldn't be in the top 10% drops, maybe top 20 so you can still get better, recalibrate, Something along that lines, though, is what I think it should need to be at. And really, one of the other things in this game that really needs to be changed is the stupid shooting range. And not necessarily the whole thing, most of it's fine, but this one part of it right here, this should not be normal, hard, harder, very hard. It needs to have something in here where it's like normal, hard, challenging, heroic enemies, and then raid enemies. So that way you can actually test out if you can actually take down heroic and challenging and whatever enemies, how quickly you can take them down to see if you're actually doing damage to them or not. I've made builds where I thought they were super awesome, tested them out in here, and then you go into a raid or into heroic and you're like, oh god, this what have I done? This is terrible. So they could change that. They should definitely change that. Put a raid and heroic difficulty level, whatever, add things in there. That's what they should do. And yeah, that's it. Hopefully I made this make sense. I'm pretty sure I did. I don't know. Sometimes, I should script stuff, but then I lose all my shenanigans, my funs, my burps, and all that other stuff. And what fun would that be, just being another monotone dude on the old poop tuber. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comment section down below. The changes you'd like to make and all that other stuff. In all honesty, I do want to know, so leave a comment, but go on to Reddit and tell them too. I have no idea if developers watch my channel. They could see my stuff pop up on YouTube and just be like, nah, this is jackass again. Oh dear. So I would definitely let them know. Try and don't let all the Reddit people dictate what goes on in this game, because generally from what I see, that's kind of what happens. And yeah, Reddit. I don't know. I'm sorry if there's any super duper Redditors here, but man, you guys love writing novels on there. Yeah, you do. But yeah, that's it. Hit the old like button for me if you could. That would be super awesome. Because as really, I don't know if you know, but hitting the old like button dictates whether or not this video goes out into the wild and how well it does. So it's all on you if it does good or not. That's probably why people babble for 45 minutes in the beginning of their videos and I don't. But I don't want to do that to you guys because that's just not my style. subscribe, all that other junk, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Peace.